you like about corn?
It's cold. A big cornfed knobs. It has the juice. I can't imagine a more beautiful thing. It's cold. I can tell you all about it. I mean, look at this thing. When I tried it, it got anything changed.
Really are the most devious bastard in New York City.
Well,
you really are.
That was this week's episode, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
Sorry for the spoilers. But it was like the best two things I could find this week.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
What we do in the shadows has been fucking excellent.
Yeah.
Capitalize on the internet trend. So thanks to the Corn Kid and the guy who made the Corn song.
Yeah.
I was previously unaware of the Corn Kid, so that is now my new favorite thing. That if I'm feeling down, until just this moment.
Was this your first exposure? I hope it's a lot of people's first exposure to the Corn Kid.
If I'm feeling down, I'm just gonna watch that.
Yeah, I hadn't seen the music for the Corn Kid, but I had seen the Corn Kid before.
There's so many versions of it. There's like a ballad, like a slow ballad song now. You know, the internet sometimes it does good things. Sometimes.
Yeah.
Very rarely.
That's why we have Bodie McBoatface. So you know, let's.
That's right. Well, we're back. We're back and we're bringing you all the bad news that happened for Warner Brothers.
We'll start with good stuff, though.
Yes,
we will.
Yes, that's true.
So,
mostly good stuff.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's true. Oh, yeah, I do have another thing too. Anyways, yeah, we'll catch up on a few things. There's been a lot of good stuff actually in the past. I had to shift like half of the stuff we didn't finish last time to here.
Oh, I don't even remember what I put. So
yeah, I went back to the notes from last time. So just to make sure, was there anything I really wanted to talk about? So let's get into our segment, the previously on next issue segment, where we talk about all the stuff we've been watching, reading, all that stuff. Shout out to Spartan watching us on Twitch.
Hey, Twitch.
Hey.
Yeah, I know, right? It's the Corn song. It got us right in the algorithm.
Yes. It's the very top of the code now. It just has, insert some code for Corn Kid.
Corn equals ratings.
Yes.
Oh boy. It's funny because this all real quick tangent. This all started on TikTok. Well, before the Corn Kid, corn was what they would use to talk about corn, the corn industry, with the adult corn industry.
Gotcha.
Because if you say the word, TikTok will take your stuff down. So real quick, so our discussion today, our main topic later on is going to be all the Warner Brothers cancellations and everything that's going on with HBO Max and Discovery. For now, we're just going to chat a little bit about all the stuff we've been watching and doing throughout the week. So that's usually what the first segment is, unless we got something real good like San Diego Comic-Con, or maybe on the next one when we talk about Thor, Love and Thunder. That might be a whole 2 hours of that.
Oh yeah.
So let me kick things off because I am very excited. I am a big Dragon Ball nerd.
Yes, you are.
Last week I got to watch not once but twice the new movie Dragon Ball Superhero. I watched it both in the Japanese, the Japanese language, and then also the dub, because I love both groups of voice actors are super talented. For the majority of the cast is still pretty much the same since the beginning of everything, at least Dragon Ball Z. So it's really, really exciting to go back and listen to and reconnect with some of these characters. You can see the review on the channel, but the movie was so much fun. Like it's really, really good. I can't wait till it's out on some kind of watch at home format so I can watch it one more time, because I'm really, really excited. Those Dragon Ball Super movies have been super cool. Even if you don't follow the anime, I think if you have enough Dragon Ball Z knowledge, you can probably enjoy the movies.
So I can watch it as a newbie and understand it.
Yeah, I think so. I think it gives you enough. It starts with a lot of exposition, because the stuff they're bringing back is from the stuff they're bringing back is from the original Dragon Ball. So this was like all this stuff came out in the late 80s, early 90s, right?
Okay.
So there's probably a whole generation of fans that they may have never seen this stuff live. Like they've never gone back to watch it. They just kind of know about it through the lore of the show.
I can tell you when I went to go see Thor, they played the trailer for that movie. And as someone has no knowledge of it, it made very little sense. But I'm glad to hear the stuff's from the 80s or 90s, because my one takeaway from it was, why are all the fonts used in the trailer from the early 90s? I mean, it's like big block text in 3D, the shiny, and I'm like, this feels very retro. So that's probably why, right?
The whole feel of the movie is
that makes sense now.
The main characters that are introduced, I love that they're kind of maybe trying to have a discussion about superheroes, because that's the main. I mean, the movie's called Superhero.
Yeah.
So like it's like Akira Toriyama's take on how he sees superheroes today and how they've infiltrated the culture and what would happen if that happens in that world. So yeah, I mean, it can get. I don't know if I'm reading too much into the movie, but it was a really enjoyable experience.
Oh, that's good. That's great.
All right, I'll let you guys take off some of this stuff. I know there's a lot to talk about, and I'll definitely cut us off with plenty of time to talk about Warner Brothers. So, Clay, you wanna kick things off?
I'll go through some of the movies I watched this week because we're doing 1988 on my other podcast on Social Spectators. It is time to die hard. And so I rewatched Die Hard. I rewatched They Live because that's another movie from 1988. And then I was like so much into John Carpenter, I watched Assault on Precinct 13, which is like my favorite John Carpenter film.
Really? Not Halloween, no?
I love Halloween. I love The Fog. Like those are my three. But Assault on Precinct 13, like that music is just like ingrained in my head. Like I love just it's like early John Carpenter that has this threatening tone to it. It's almost like it's like when you open Twitter up and you know how bad it's going to be. I hear that music in my head, you know.
John Carpenter's the Twitter.
Yeah, when you go outside in the world, you realize how horrible everything is, and you hear Assault on Precinct 13 music.
Did he do the score?
Yeah.
That movie, because he's written. Okay, I was gonna say because he's like Charlie Chaplin. He kind of does everything in his movies, right? Score and direction and writing and all that stuff.
Yeah. Now, Assault on Precinct 13, I am referring to the original, not the remake. Like as much as I love the people who are in the remake, that remake is really, really bad. It is not good. I won't rewatch it.
That's some people's Assault on Precinct 13, sir. So.
And some people need to sample more to at least compare and contrast, because that movie is not good.
Look, guys, if you're going to talk about me, I'm right here. All right. So actually, can I make a confession? I think it was yesterday. I don't know why. I was walking around and Die Hard popped into my head. And in that moment, I finally pieced together the fact that the title of the movie comes from the phrase "Old Habits Die Hard." I'd never thought of that before, but I'm like, totally makes sense. I get it now, right? Because I was wondering, it's like, Die Hard's such a weird title. Like, sure, he's hard to kill, but what a weird phrasing for it, right? And then,
you know, that's funny. You just put that together for me because
I just put it together yesterday.
Well, the thing is, in Spanish, it literally translates to "hard to kill." Is like the name of the movie,
which makes way more sense, right?
Yeah. So I never paid attention to I was like, oh yeah, he's difficult to kill. Like nobody can kill this dude. So that's why it's called that. And I never went I always thought about it in the Spanish name. So interesting.
Yeah, I even watched it with the commentary from the director. Maybe one of the worst commentary tracks I've listened to. Like the worst commentary track I have ever listened to is Terry Gilliam's Brazil. Like,
really?
Yes, it is. It is so. It is like taking a class on filmmaking in technical lighting, all the stuff except the story and the actors and things that are happening. He goes into so much detail. You're just like,
And it's not even in Portuguese.
oh yeah. What else did we watch? Oh, because one of my favorite Bob's Burgers episodes is when Gene puts together the Die Hard musical, and
yes,
and his competition is his ex-girlfriend who puts together a Working Girl musical, and so they put them together at the end. So we watched Working Girl because I hadn't seen it since I was in college, and Shelby hadn't seen it since she was a kid, and so we watched it. Wow, that movie's bad. It's just not. It is terrible. It is. I mean, if anything, Sigourney Weaver's pretty good in it. You know, Harrison Ford playing against type. You know, it was kind of interesting to see. Melanie Griffith is great. Joan Cusack is good in everything, so I won't badmouth her. She's fucking awesome.
Okay. Thank you, because I will come for you if you badmouth Joan Cusack. So
Joan Cusack is queen. She's awesome.
Oh, yes.
So we were watching that, and it just deals with so much business, and essentially they're people who like buy up companies, so they're kind of corporate raiders. And now you look back on it and you go, oh, those guys are real pieces of shit. They aren't really good people or doing good things. They're just rich people with money, and so then I just had to watch Bob's Burgers, Work Hard or Die Trying Girl, the musical, because that's the only reward that comes out of knowing anything about Working Girl.
I love it. I love it.
Lost Boys. You Lost Boys fans?
I mean, I know. So just in terms of cultural zeitgeist, I am aware of Lost Boys. I don't think I've seen the entire movie.
Yeah, same.
And that's not because it's bad. It's just I've never. It's always been at a weird time, like at a friend's house or something. So.
To me, that's the Gen X vampire. Like,
right? Yeah, exactly.
Our version of the vampire was this cool, badass Kiefer Sutherland. He had come out of Stand By Me as the bad guy, and he plays this real badass vampire in here. And then you had the two Coreys, which was interesting because like that was like a lot of what Hollywood thought we wanted was. If we put these two Coreys in every movie, people seem to dig that. And me and Mark were talking about it, and I go, no, not really. I think this is the only one that I really enjoy.
What if we put more Coreys in it?
Right.
I know we already have one, but there's another one out there.
Hey, I guarantee there was some sort of agent out there just looking for Coreys. Like, bring me all the Coreys, right? I want Corey Jones. I want Corey Vanderbleek. You give me a Corey, all right?
Who sings Sunglasses at Night? Corey.
Oh God.
Somebody.
In the film?
No, that just a separate song altogether.
Yeah.
That's the other thing too, is like that movie was badass in the soundtrack. Like that had one of the best soundtracks of that time period too. So to me, like
Corey Hart.
Yeah, that was a key Gen X film in tone, in music, and everything that it was doing. Kind of made fun of itself at times. Had comic book references all over the place. I loved it.
Well, was that the? Oh, no. I'm sorry, Daniel. Go ahead.
Go.
Well, I was gonna say. I mean, Lost Boys comes out before Vampire the Masquerade, right? But Lost Boys seems to be the pivotal combination of vampire with punk, and then in a lot of ways Vampire the Masquerade like takes that and runs with it to a certain degree. So you're right, that is sort of like our generation's vampire aesthetic, you know.
They kind of built on the idea of all the missing kids that we had in the 80s that were on milk cartons and stuff are now
that's where the name comes from. Okay.
Vampire kids who
today's
just
about blowing my mind.
It's like I understand all these movie titles.
Yeah. I'm always giving you a history lesson on what the 70s and 80s were like.
What was this Vampire the Masquerade? Did the game come out before the movie?
Yes. It started as a role-playing game.
I was going to say, there was a TV show too.
There was the Kindred, but that came out. I want to say that was like very early 90s, right? Like 91 maybe. And that was based on the role-playing game. But I feel like Lost Boys, the movie, came out before the role-playing game.
Well,
Okay.
all right. Well, Clay, Josh, you guys can keep the Lost Boys because we, the millennials, have our own vampires, and it's not the ones you think.
Twilight.
It's this one.
Really are the most devious bastard in New York City. Well,
That's all of ours.
I have to tell you that my whole family, we just died laughing when he said that. I mean, and we can't even pronounce Tucson, Arizona the right way anymore because we say it like you did, Tucson, Arizona. Like, it's so good.
Okay, but of the last 2 weeks, which one did you love more? The Property
this one.
Brother episode or the Jersey Devil episode?
The Property Brothers. I mean, it
Property
is.
Brothers.
Yeah, it is clearly this season's Jackie Daytona episode, right? We're gonna take you out of the normal, expectations or format, and we're gonna give you something different. So
the season's been great. It's been great so far, but like this one, just I don't know. I feel like it was the best one. Like it's funny because it kind of intersects with everything that's going on with all the Discovery stuff and like all these kind of.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah.
I hadn't even thought about that. That's an excellent point.
And it was a perfect use of the Schuyler twins.
Which is so funny because I mean, I guess spoiler, like they don't really need twins in the episode after like 2 minutes. I mean,
they just do the opening.
Yeah, they could have just had a lookalike from behind.
How do you think that contract negotiation goes? Like, look, one of you guys has to work a week, one of you guys has to work a day.
Yeah.
Figure out who wants to, like, I don't know if it's in their contract that they both get paid the same, or is it related to how many hours they put in? Y'all figure that out. Flip a coin.
I bet their agent, they handle their agent and contract the same way they handle, like, I assume their partners, which is we might just mix it up sometimes, right? You won't know which of us you're going to get. So.
Oh, wow. But I do have a deep love for the Jersey Devil episode because I love his neighbor, Sean.
I do too.
Who they continue to brainwash. They had, Colin Robinson, who is not Colin Robinson that crawled from the orifice of Colin Robinson. But the Jersey Devil singing Bon Jovi is probably one of my favorite moments of the whole season.
Oh, like, God, yeah, that is so good.
Video of Bon Jovi with the Jersey Devil do the whole Slippery When Wet album. That was
the balls on that show to do that.
I was about to bring that up too. Oh my God.
So good. And then you find out Guillermo's whole family is like, vampire sensitive.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, that's the other thing, that it was an important episode for Guillermo because he came out to his family. So like on top of all this hilariousness, you have like this very real story, and everything goes as good as it can go. Better actually, other than the fact that they had to brainwash them a bunch of times too.
Well, and that like his whole family tried to murder.
That's not their fault. I mean, they're
true, yeah. So we had better meet his boyfriend soon because they have been setting this up from the first few episodes, and I'm like, I want to meet his boyfriend. So come on,
Harvey Guillem, really cool. If you haven't seen Harley this season, he plays Nightwing. Oh, it's so good.
That's awesome. I did not know that. That's awesome.
He's like this emo Nightwing because he wants to be like Batman.
He wants to be Batman.
It's so good.
My God.
All right, let's. I guess that what we do in the shadows transition. We'll come back to talk about She-Hulk because I've seen it as well. But Josh, you want to talk about a few things that you've seen?
Yeah, and I do have a show actually. I didn't put this in the notes, but we've been watching What We Do in the Shadows. We've been watching Ted Lasso season 2, which is quite old, but we finished season 2 of Only Murders in the Building.
Oh,
and if
we haven't started yet,
if you're not watching it, it is, I'm just going to say, I think a brilliant example of avoiding the sophomore slump. That season is far better than it has any right to be. And they do some really, really interesting stuff with, I was convinced I had solved it from the end of last season's episode. And by the end of the last episode, halfway through, I was still like, I solved it. and then I was wrong, and I was really pissed off about it. They are able to just do so much in that season. Now, there's some weird stuff, like the fact that I forget who played her friend that I was like, this guy needs to play Superman. Well, anyway, he's not in the season at all. Like, he's just mysteriously vanished. They never refer to him again. It's weird. Yeah, I know. It's very, very strange. I don't know if maybe just he wasn't available or what, but other than that one weird minor thing, the season is just brilliant. I mean, it's just so good. So you've got to watch. If you're not watching Only Murders in the Building, or if you only watch season 1 and you ended, and this is a totally legitimate thing, and you ended that season thinking there's no way they're going to pull this off again. They totally pull it off again.
And then I saw that Paul Rudd's going to be in season 3.
Yeah, he makes it, because like with the end of season 1, the very end of season 2 sets up what they're going to investigate for season 3.
Okay.
They should just move from that building, I think.
Well, when you get to the end of the season, you'll recognize it's no longer that building. I'll just say that. So.
I can't watch that show because what's his name is in it?
Martin Short?
Martin Short. I don't like Martin Short.
What?
Yeah. I mean, okay, wait, hang on. I'll back up. I get you. There's some things Martin Short's in that I'm not a fan of. He's great in this. He's really, really good.
We'll see.
Did Ed Grimley
Everybody
is as a child?
No, it was
Ed Grimley.
what's the Glick man dude?
Jiminy
Jiminy Glick, yeah.
And also his character in Arrested Development.
The bullet?
Yeah.
It's so great. Yeah.
You need to watch
Clifford.
Clifford will change your life.
Even I remember we talked about the movie in a later episode, on a previous episode. Even the fact that I think Cara Delevingne is in this season was not enough for me to. Cara Delevingne?
Oh, the Enchantress.
Yeah.
Who does she play?
Or maybe she was in last season. I know she's in the show somewhere.
She wasn't in the first season, so it must be the second season.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wonder if she plays.
Was there a neighbor that made out with Selena Gomez? Because that was her.
No, there's an art dealer. So I didn't realize that was her. I haven't seen.
Oh, because of the lack of Enchantress makeup. Yeah, that makes
she wasn't doing that weird dance thing.
She's also very good in it.
I've seen her in 2 movies, and they both were really bad. That Suicide Squad movie and that Valerian movie.
Valerian?
She is. That's where she's from. I knew she looked familiar. I couldn't place it. She's really good. She's really good in this movie. Yeah, or in this show.
Did nothing for her. I just was real like, is she just bad, or is she just picked bad roles?
It seems like bad roles. I don't think it's her. She's really good.
You guys are crazy. I'm gonna go listen to the Corn Kid some more.
hey, we all like the Corn Kid. Come on. Don't put that on us. So that's kind of all I've watched. It's been a busy kind of 2 weeks, but I did read some comics, and I'll just talk about one real quick. I picked up Vault Comics' issue 1 of Heart Eyes.
Yo.
Sorry, there's a big glare on it. This is written by Dennis Hopeless. The artist is Victor Ibanez, color by Addison Duke, lettering by Simon Boland. I will tell you, I picked this up partly because of the fact that it is set in San Antonio, where I spent my teenage years, and it's very clear the creators know San Antonio because there's a scene where they actually go to the Riverwalk, and it looks like the Riverwalk. It's not like they had just seen movies it's featured in. Their headquarters is actually in a building they never name, but if you've been to San Antonio, you know that building. So for me, it was just a nice little thing. But I am not the sort of person to like post-apocalyptic stuff. It's so prevalent and I think overdone. This is a post-apocalyptic book that I really dug. So the basic conceit is this. Most of humanity has been destroyed by these sort of like Cthulhuoid alien creatures that just suddenly appear one day. And at the start of the book, the main character, this young woman here is walking around just alone. And a family in San Antonio who has survived, they find her. And the big question is, how did she survive? Right. It sort of sets that up in the very last page of the issue. So it ends on a really good cliffhanger. There's a little bit of romance in it too, which I kind of like. But I just want to say that this is one of those books where the writing is good and the art is just luscious. Ibanez on this art is amazing. Yeah. It is really great.
Is that cover artist the same as the inside artist?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
Yep. It's an incredible, and oh God, it's one of those books I'm reading and I'm just like, I love all of this. I love the story. I love the art. I love the color. Everything is great.
Yeah. We have a preview from Vault, Clay, so I'll send that over.
Ooh, yes. Perfect.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So, I'll just I really like reading, because I've been doing this a lot now that I go weekly to my shopping at comics. I'll try first issues of stuff, and if it doesn't really grab me the first issue, I'm like, nah, maybe I won't keep reading it. This is a total solid win. I'm going to keep reading this because it's interesting. It's a little different from the normal approach to post-apocalyptic survival stories. So anyway, yeah, Hard Eyes #1, really great. Check it out.
All right, let's. I'll swing back to me because I did watch some TV. First of all, I'll bring up. I don't know. Are you guys Game of Thrones fans in the chat anywhere? Anybody?
I've seen the first episode.
Okay. Well,
I was a fan until the final episode.
You're one of those.
Yes, I am, because that was fucking disappointing. To spend that much time on a show and get to the end and go, this is it.
Well, what if I told you can watch a show that has a lot of the same feel, but the material that they're basing it on is finished, and they don't have to make up an ending? Well, anyways, that's the premise of that's House of the Dragon, and I love the first episode. It is like being back in the better seasons of the show, and there's it's all about the Targaryens, who are these ruthless monsters in the show that we've seen.
Yeah,
so, how did they become
aren't they inbred too? Isn't that a part of it?
Yeah. That's a whole thing. So this whole show takes place 200 years before the events of the previous show, and I mean there's dragons in it, which let's go. I want to see more dragons. That was one of the things I really liked about the show.
It's in the title. There better be dragons.
Yeah. And Matt Smith in this show has just become this new character, Daemon Targaryen. I've seen many from a lot of Doctor Who fans that they're he's unrecognizable as the Doctor Who. So he really sunk into. I think Morbius was the palate cleanser that he needed to shed the Doctor Who persona.
What a palate cleanser! My God.
It was that little dance. Oh, I don't know if I still have that clip. But yeah. So I'm really enjoying the show. The quality of the show is just fantastic. It looks great. And yeah, I mean, now I have my HBO show once again on Sunday nights.
Okay, but I want to bring up a point that was interesting, because I believe that they're trying to hype this show too much. They said they had 10 million viewers for that first episode, and that they crashed the HBO Max servers. The finale had 19 million viewers and was fine. So have they downgraded their tech as well as their entertainment value because they couldn't handle half the load of what they had on the finale?
They might have, really, because I don't know how. I don't know what their numbers were looking like. They could have. I saw
19.2 million viewers for the final episode of Game of Thrones, but for this premiere episode, it was 10 million, and the numbers went down.
I had some. It was just lagging a little bit in a few scenes, some of the higher colored scenes where I guess they got to render more. Maybe those take more data to. I don't know how that works. But for a couple of times I didn't have any issues logging into the app or anything or watching the episode. And I was watching it like right at when it started at 8 p.m. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's already been renewed for a season 2, which I'm glad for because I want more of this stuff. And-
Zaslav's pissed. He's like,
Yeah.
man, I could make 20 shows for that amount of money.
Yeah.
what really makes me like what I'm really disappointed in is that we will never get to watch the Naomi Watts pilot that they shot for another prequel. They spent $30 million on.
Oh wait, so this is
a different show.
really, because I remember reading about the canceled prequel, and I thought it was all the same show, or they didn't
No.
like the. Wow. Okay. So who's written the finished material this is based on? Was that Martin?
I believe this House of the Dragon is based on the book Fire and Blood, which is just a book on its own or a series of books.
Oh, okay.
That's all. It's all one thing that's complete. So like they have the full roadmap.
Okay.
And I mean, and we know where it all goes, right? Like on a long enough timeline, we get back to Game of Thrones.
Yeah, it goes to the bad ending that we saw. I mean, seeing the prequel to it just makes me go, yeah, but we know how it's going to end poorly.
Well, but that's not canon according to Martin, right? I mean, he hasn't written it yet, so I think he's even disavowed that whole season, right? Like, is he had no hand in it?
Yeah, he even said that he slowly began. They quit contacting him, and near the end, it was just like he was just watching what they were doing.
If I was George, I would also be like, "Oh, they didn't like all this, huh? Well, let me change some of that stuff in my book. Maybe they'll like this." So maybe he's had a time to do a few rewrites. So I don't know. Either way, I'm very excited.
I like to imagine that he was watching that finale and he had the Word document up on his screen. He's like, shit. And he's just like hitting delete. Like, he's like, man, they nailed it. That's what I was going to do. I guess I need to rewrite this. So
I don't know. I think
I'm just kidding.
I think George R. R. Martin, he really liked Bran as a character in his writing too. So I don't know. I don't know if that's the case. But hey, let me talk about another show that it's not even really it's only tangentially connected to the stuff we talk about. It's called Welcome to Wrexham.
I wanted to ask you how that is, because we've been watching Ted Lasso, and I described it to my family as real Ted Lasso. It
feels like this documentary is of what Ted Lasso could have been kind of based on. Not so much because everything doesn't play 1-to-1, but like it's a very small. I mean, I think Ted Lasso, the team is on a higher league than this team. This team is like on the 5th level of the English Premier League. So the premise of the show, Rob McElhenney from Always Sunny in Philadelphia and Ryan Reynolds of Deadpool and everything else fame.
They
bought
Green Lantern.
Yeah, they bought a Green Lantern. They bought a soccer team in Wrexham, one of the oldest soccer organizations in existence. In the first few episodes, they take you through all that process, and I think throughout the season, we're just gonna see. And I didn't want to Google like how they're doing in real life,
right?
Because I don't want to spoil myself how the
that makes total sense. Yeah,
but yeah, it definitely feels they focus a lot. I thought it was gonna be a lot about Rob and Ryan, but it's not. It's a lot about it's a lot about the town. It's a lot about the organization, the people that work. It's weird because the team is almost like a co-op run by the city, or by the town.
Really?
Like the organization. There's like this. There had to be like this vote from all these owners that are in the town that are also fans. That by like 75% approval for them to even go through with the sale, which is a really really high number. And then you have these two Hollywood guys that I don't know how much they know about soccer. If I feel like they don't, or maybe Ryan Reynolds more because he's Canadian. But Rob really, he just likes the feel of the community and the fans, and it reminds him of like him growing up in Philly. So it's really fun. We got 2 episodes to start off with, and it really does feel like they could have based it. It's weird that it's kind of backwards that Ted Lasso came out first, and then this is
Right?
happening.
Yeah.
Maybe Rob and Ryan watched Ted Lasso and they're like, "Ooh, let's do that." Uh,
Let's go. Let's go be
let's go be owners.
fish out of water in in industrial UK. Yeah, no, I saw the trailer for it, and and it's funny. I think if I hadn't watched Ted Lasso, I would have been less interested in it. But having seen how they handle that same sort of concept, I'm like, I want to watch this now. And I like Rob and Ryan. I'll use it first because we're on a very close personal.
We're all friends, and I can't. I have a hard time pronouncing Macaro's last name. So
Macol.
I don't know if Macolini. I don't know if I've said it right one time in the show, but nobody's corrected me yet.
I haven't said it right, nor could I correct you. So
I will throw out there, Josh, also a recommendation made for you and the family: the Lego Star Wars Summer Special.
Really?
It's so much fun. It's really like those Lego Star Wars. This is the first one I've seen, and they're just like these weird little stories with the Lego characters. And this one, Finn wants to give everyone a vacation, so it's also a big commercial for their cruise line or whatever.
It's so weird. It's so bizarre.
But they go on a vacation to the Halicon or whatever the ship is called, whatever the yacht's called. I don't.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
So they go to that. They go there, and then through 4 shenanigans, they relive all these little vignettes and stories, with previous Jedi and stuff like that. So really, really fun. I love that everyone it almost feels like fan fiction, but like the really good kind of fan fiction.
Right.
It's only like 50 minutes long, so they're not very long, but
okay.
It is it's probably some Star Wars that we can all agree it's really good.
That's good. I've been wanting to pick up the new Lego Star Wars game because again, like my daughter and I have really fond memories of like playing those games, and I know it's not a remake; it's like an entirely new game.
Yeah. I saw when the trailer dropped for that thing. The only reason I didn't get it was because I couldn't find the collector's edition that I wanted with Darth Vader on it. And I was like, I really mainly want it for the collection. I don't think I'm gonna play through this whole thing. Although I do have a Switch, so I could have. But yeah, the Lego Star Wars Summer Special is great, which makes me want to go back and maybe listen or watch some of the other Lego Star Wars, like the Halloween thing and all that stuff. Clay, while you were gone, I did tell Josh I watched Welcome to Wrexham, the documentary about Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElroy running that soccer team. It's really fun. It's really good. We were saying it almost feels like this is what Ted Lasso is kind of based on, but it's not, right?
So what channel is it on?
It's on Hulu. So
okay, cool. All right.
Yeah.
So it is a documentary. It's not a comedy.
It's a documentary. No, they really went out and bought a team. Unless this is all part of an elaborate bit.
I don't think so because it's part of the whole Ryan Reynolds investment strategy, right? Like he bought Mint Mobile, and I mean he's been like just investing money into things. That
dude is he diversified his portfolio. Like him and The Rock.
Very much.
Him and The Rock.
It seems like a Deadpool purchase. Like he had his Deadpool money, and he's like, "I'll buy a sports team."
Well, it's kind of funny because I think now Deadpool's kind of become like the unofficial mascot of Wrexham.
Oh, really? Oh,
people are showing up to the games and stuff, and like to the celebrations with like Deadpool outfits, which makes a lot of sense. The owner plays Deadpool, so
is Rob bummed that people aren't dressing up like Sunny characters?
I bet there's people that I don't think they're as recognizable right off the bat as Deadpool.
They just have to dress up like a character from The Nightman Cometh, and then that's all you need. So I've been rewatching all of Sunny recently, so it's on top of mind.
One thing I haven't watched and I hear it's very good is the Mike Tyson series, Mike on Hulu.
I just don't think I can bring myself to watch a show that's glorifying Mike Tyson.
And it's not even his voice. Like, it's somebody else telling Mike Tyson's story based on what they know from the news. Like, Mike Tyson didn't participate in this whatsoever.
Is he not involved with the show?
No, he's even said
Really?
that, like, they took my story and they're telling my story without me. They're making money
Wow.
off of.
That
Yeah,
sucks.
so I think it's worse that they're making money off of somebody that they haven't even.
I
talked to.
may not watch it. That was the reason I didn't watch Pam and Tommy, because I know they were not on board with the show. But yeah, maybe I won't watch it. We'll see. But it was funny because it came up yesterday. The Hangover was on TV and that whole scene played out. So I was like, oh, maybe I should watch. Yeah. Oh, I love it.
Wow.
Boom, 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 boom. Yeah. Let me hit a few recommendations for movies if you are able to or want to go to the theater. Well, the first one is already out on VOD, so watch Nope. Nope is really good. It's a lot of fun. I think this is my favorite Jordan Peele movie, but I know it's not a lot of people's. I think to me, there's an aspect to the film that really calls out to me, and we could talk more about it in detail once you guys watch the film, because I don't want to spoil anything. I think I want you guys to go in with as little knowledge of it as you can.
I think it's usually best to go into his movies with as little knowledge as possible, right? He gives you like one-word titles and like really cryptic trailers, and that's for the best. So
Yeah,
the trailers did not tell you much.
Yeah,
No.
they don't. You just see people. The only thing I heard that they said they wanted the sky to feel like the water does in Jaws, and I was like, "Whoa!"
Oh, interesting. That is fascinating.
Yeah, so that's out on VOD or it's still playing in theaters. Also, DC League of Super Pets, charming movie. It's a lot of fun. Maybe a little too long for a kids movie, but other than that, and then stay tuned all the way till the Warner Brothers already put out the end credit scene on their YouTube channel just to like get hype about it, which is weird, but it doesn't spoil anything. It's just a fun end credit. Also, Beast, the Idris Elba movie. I had a good time with it.
Oh, okay.
It does its best to try to be Jaws, which it can't, but but there's a lot of good in the film. I think the way it's shot, the whole, and then you get to see Idris Elba. I mean, it's Idris Elba versus a lion, so like that's just good content, I think.
Yeah, see, it gave me the vibes of Liam Neeson's movie where he was fighting the wolves.
Oh, right. Yeah,
this
I know
one's
what
a
you mean.
little bit less. I feel like that one takes you in a lot of places that's not really about the wolves.
Right.
This one is all about the lion. And then
okay, that's a better move. Yeah.
And then I really like the name of the South African actor, the guy from District 9.
Oh shit, I can never remember how to pronounce.
Yeah,
his name.
I know. I did a review and I know I wrote his name down, but he's really good. I like him a lot. Shia something.
Sharto Copley.
Sharto Copley, yeah, he's really good. He's really good in the movie. So go watch that, and then also watch Bullet Train. Bullet Train.
I'm intrigued by Bullet Train. It was the only trailer playing throughout all of Europe when we were traveling, and so I was like, "This looks. It just looks fun. It just looks like
it is. That's all it
movie.
is. It is just fun, and it makes me wonder why the hell don't we have bullet trains in America? I want to get.
Supposedly trying to get one between Dallas and Houston, right? They've been trying to do that for 15 years.
I would love to take an hour train ride to Austin, for a
hell
day,
yeah.
and then come back.
Beats the hell out of driving that shitstorm of a highway down there.
So yeah, go watch all those movies. There's some movies in the theaters that I do want to see, but I haven't got a chance to, like that 3,000 Years of Longing, the other movie.
I was going to ask you guys about that because I had no idea that was even coming, and that was another trailer we saw during Thor, and I was just enraptured. I mean, George Miller making a movie with Tilda Swinton and Idris Elba. Yes, please. I'm on board for all of that.
Because I like to watch all movies, including the bad ones, that The Invitation. That movie but sometimes they'll surprise you. Like I thought what's the movie about hide and seek? Ready or Not,
yeah.
Like I thought that was just gonna be some kind of corny bad movie, and I really enjoyed it. So this could be the same because it's got a lot of similarities.
Yeah, I kind of get what the concept is in those movies now because someone I follow a lot of horror fans, and so they started piecing those movies together, and I was just like, well, that kind of spoils it if you know these other movies, you know?
Yeah. So, but that's it. I've seen that's all the stuff I've watched. So I'll hopefully we have time to talk about some comics, but I'll let you guys finish off with your stuff first because I know we're getting close to main topic time.
Okay. You want me to jump in on comics?
Yeah, Click. I mean, whatever you want to talk about.
Okay. I since I've been watching a lot of Stranger Things, I hit the library and got like they have a Stranger Things library edition, which is 4 volumes of their trades put together. It's a really nice book, and
your recommendation makes a lot more sense now.
Oh,
what do you mean?
What you wrote down in the notes,
yeah,
recommendation.
what you put down.
Now I get it.
I got you.
So, Stranger Things Library Edition's first 4 volumes, Jody Houser wrote them. They feel like you're in that world. Like, there are a lot of people who do adaptations, Star Wars, all these different stories that take place either in or outside the universe. She seems to get it. Her Stranger Things, she has 1 volume where she follows Will, the entire adventure of what happened to Will on the Upside Down. And then she also has like these characters that were in the place with 11 that escape and their story. And they even mingle with the what I always want to call them the knockoff X-Men that are in season 2, where 11 runs away and there's a guy with a mohawk and
the emo kids.
Yeah, the emo kids. She does it better than the TV show. She handles them better than the TV show. She also did a Stranger Things D&D story, which is fantastic. I absolutely loved it. The only book that she wasn't a part of, but Greg Pak worked on, is Erica the Great, which is like probably, I would say, aimed at really young kids, but it's so good and fun because it's just Erica, Lucas's little sister, teaching her friends to play D&D, but she's kind of a very selfish kid, and she kind of grows through that story, and it's done really well. It's just a really fun read. I mean, all the Stranger Things books that Jody did, I absolutely love, and even the one Greg Pak worked on, Erica the Great, I recommend for like really young kids because it was just a fun, cool story about kids learning D&D.
That is awesome. I gotta track that down.
Yeah, I think it works because Jody Houser she's a big fan of D&D. Like I've seen her post about stuff like that, but she's also just a fan of these properties that she works on. And she does a lot of Doctor Who.
A lot of Doctor Who, really good Doctor Who. She's very good at adapting, not just the properties, but like with the recent Empire of the Wolf series she did for Doctor Who. It sounds like she's really good at taking the untold stories and telling them in a way that doesn't break anything, right? It gives you that backstory without fundamentally spoiling the main story. She's really good at that. So
and then Greg Pak just he's great at doing not just comics but kids stuff too. Like so a lot of his own stuff, like his self-published or what do you call it, Kickstarter stuff. Like it's been more kid related. So
she also did these 2. Star Wars Age of the Republic Heroes and Villains. So it's one-shots. And they're fantastic, man. I really love these like individual stories that just kind of highlight who they are. There's a Qui-Gon story that makes him question being called a great warrior when that's not what Jedis are. Like he did, then there's a great Darth Maul story about they put him in the position of a Jedi, reliving a Jedi's moment. He goes, I'm not this person, and I'm not someone who would help these people. Like it just shows the dark side on the villain stories. They're just fun, quick reads, and had a lot to say.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah. I read those in singles when they were coming out. A lot of fun stuff.
Now I haven't read it yet, but I picked this up just because Daniel.
Hell yeah! Hold on, let me highlight you.
What's that say?
Death metal.
Dark
Metal. Oh, Death Metal. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
And I finished. Edge of the Spider-Verse seems to be the place that they're rebooting Madam Web because she's no longer a very old lady; she's a very young woman, like they're gonna have in the movie. So
I think that happened before, but I don't know where. I haven't read enough Spider-Man stuff to figure out because I've seen the character before.
yeah,
So yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that goes.
but
Cool.
yeah, that's the stuff I've been reading.
All right, Josh, did you have any other stuff you want to talk about?
Yeah, I'll go through just the rest of my comics real quick. First off, I read Guilt issue number 5, the Guild of Independent Lady Temporalists. If you have been watching the show for a while, you know I love this series. This is the series finale. I will say this about it. I still love it. I love the way it ended. It's great. They pack a lot into this last issue, so it kind of runs a little fast for my liking. I would have liked a little bit more breathing space. And maybe making it 6 issues would have done that. I don't think it fundamentally harms the story at all or the book. It felt very rushed at the end. So that's a little bit of a bummer, but still great. I cannot wait for this to be collected so I can just this is now in my stack of books for people who like, I've never read a comic, I don't like superheroes, what to read. Go read this, right?
Nice.
So Guilt was great. I read Tom King's Love Everlasting #1, which I know is from a couple weeks ago. Really just fascinating, interesting book. It is this kind of postmodern, kind of decontextualized take on, or maybe recontextualized, I should say, take on romance comics. And I got this cover because what I like about it is it shows kind of the 3 different eras of romance comics that get referenced in the book. And I don't want to spoil anything, but I'll just say when you start reading it, you're going to be a little confused. Just get through the first issue and you'll understand the structure of what
you get to one page and you're like, what the fuck is happening? Like,
yeah, exactly.
Page, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So Tom King wrote this. Elsa Charretier is the artist. Did I say that right, Daniel?
Sure. I'm not French. I don't know.
Well, she's great. Her art is amazing. I really, really love it. Yeah,
you should get. She has a Patreon where she does these little.
Ooh, nice.
I like that.
Every month.
I need to. Oh, that's beautiful.
That's great.
I've been a patron of hers for.
Did she send those? Like, did she mail those?
Yeah, yeah. She mailed. Like,
damn, I need to. That's awesome.
Don't want to dox myself. Yeah, she just mails them out. She mails them out.
Awesome.
From France, so it's really cool. Like whenever I see a package, oh, here you guys all. There's some of them are foil.
Foil? Oh, cool.
Wow.
I've been on her stuff for months, and it's been so great. Check it out.
I want that one. I want that one so bad. That's amazing.
Awesome.
It's a little swamp thing.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, these are great. I love it. I love being part of that. She's working on a Batman one that is coming soon.
That's awesome. Did she poll like the members to be like, what do you want me to draw next month? That kind of thing?
No, not really. She just kind of does whatever. So like it depends. Like this one came out around the time of Kenobi was coming out.
Okay.
So like I think she goes with like what's in like a Catwoman one. I think this was around the time of the Batman movie.
Gotcha.
So yeah, just kind of like that.
It looks like the Darwin Cook, Ed Brubaker version.
Well,
very much so.
She mentions that she's very influenced by Darwin Cook and Tim Sale. When he passed away, she talked about that on her Patreon. So yeah, it's really cool. I don't think it's a lot. I think it's like $6, whatever that converts to in euros.
God, that's not bad at all.
Yeah, go check it out. It's really cool.
Okay,
cool Patreon.
And then just 2 more real quick, kind of bad and good. Bad was Damage Control #1, which I was pretty hyped for because I like the original, and it's written by the guy that does the Goldbergs. I had kind of high hopes for it. It was just not good. I feel like maybe in my teen years I would have liked it more because it is an interesting kind of concept, but I just did it. Everything felt very forced to me. Like the humor felt forced, the structure felt forced. Even like the cameos kind of felt forced. I did like the joke of my name though. I did like that joke. But
yeah, other than like seeing like all the references,
Yeah.
it was kind of hard. I don't know. I might check it out again. I might check it out again once
I
we get it collected or on
yeah.
Marvel Limited.
And I didn't really care for the artist either. I don't know, there was just everything just felt a little off to me until and I just do want to give props to the backup story is by I need to say her name because I will screw it up, but it's Dwayne McDuffie, creator of Damage Control. It's his wife's
Charlotte.
Charlotte Fullerton. So she wrote the backup story, which is hella fun, really really good. The art is amazing. I love this kind of like cartoony, sort of animation style art. The whole conceit is the intern here, whose name I forgot. His mom comes to visit, and then all hell breaks loose at Damage Control. It's a fun read. Just the backup story, though. The main story, blah. So sorry, everyone. I hate to be that critical, but sometimes you got to be. But
I'll save someone $4.
Yeah, true. On the opposite end of the spectrum, and props to Daniel for recommending this last time. Also, Tom King and Mitch Gerard, Batman: One Bad Day, The Riddler. Holy crap, this book is great. I mean, I can't be any more effusive about how wonderful this book is. It is to a great degree, without all the problems we associate with it today. It is to a great degree the Riddler's Killing Joke. It is, how do we get from this person to this person? But the one trick here is that to some degree, the end of the book, or actually through the book, the Riddler himself is becoming a different villain. There's a burn at the very beginning when Gordon brings in the Riddler and he's interrogating him, and the Riddler's like, "Where's Batman?" And Gordon says, "Hang on, he messaged me earlier. He said I don't have time for Edward." And you're just like, shit, that's rough. And then
does that just knock him down to a D-list?
Pretty much
D-list villain.
Pretty much. I mean, it's. I mean, and again, it's Gerard's with Tom King, the same team that did Strange Adventure. The art is beautiful. It just, everything clicks, everything works. So Daniel, you talk about it as well, because I know that.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably my favorite Riddler story I've ever read.
Absolutely.
It's has a. When I did the review on the channel, I talked about how it feels like kind of having the same tone as the latest Batman movie or Seven, like that whole like that thriller, but it's like really like there's a lot of, it's really violent too in some aspects of it.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the quick premise: the Riddler kills some dude in the broad daylight, just shoots him in the back of the head. That's how we open up the book.
Yep.
And then things go from there. And then
what's the riddle?
Yeah,
that's the thing. There isn't one, and that's what has Gordon and Batman on edge. Sorry, is that there isn't a clear riddle. There isn't a clear reason for it, right?
Yeah. So you get to hear a lot of that. You get to see a lot of his origin story as well, which, or maybe his past, not really his origin story. So it really explains a lot why the Riddler is the way he is, kind of.
Yeah, and for me, the big kind of coup here that King and Gerard pull off is, first off, I did listen to the Batman soundtrack while I read this. It's a perfect pairing. But to create this book coming off of a major film that also features the same villain in a very unique way and have them be two distinctly different characters is really, really impressive, right? Because there could have been like, well, we need to reference the film version, right? Because that's what the broader public knows right now, and they didn't do that at all. It's a really, really unique portrayal of the Riddler.
This has me very excited for the rest of the books they're gonna do. The more like they're doing a whole one more day with other rogues like Bane and Clayface, Penguin,
Catwoman.
So like,
but they're all different teams, and so this is what I'm kind of wondering: is this going to be a King and Gerard sort of masterpiece, and the others don't quite get to that level, or is every one of the books going to be like this? Right. So
I think it's smart to start with this one because they're like, look, this one was really good. You want to give the other ones a shot, even if they're, and all of them may not be the same quality because I mean they're all very different teams, but but the cool thing is that Batman has such a cool rogues gallery that there's a chance for all the books to be great. Like there is that chance. It's not like this, you're not scraping the bottom of the barrel of like characters.
I'm trying to find. Oh, sorry.
Which could work too under the right team. Like I feel like Tom King made Kiteman kind of cool during his whole run, and the Harley shows did Kiteman really got him his own spinoff that we don't even know if it's still gonna happen, but
that's it.
Yeah, that's a
Kiteman fashion.
Yeah,
right. That's a prelude right there.
All right, let me real quick. I just want to show you guys some of the stuff I got this week.
Yeah.
So I'm still reading Grimm. Grimm is great. Stephanie Phillips, amazing. This is a Simon DeMeo variant, and of course I had to get the other variant too. This book has so many cool covers. So I'll probably go broke buying them. Then I also picked Wind, the Sky in the Throne in the Sky. This is the James Tynion book with Michael Dialytis.
Oh my god, I can't even read the cover. Good lord, what?
Yeah, this is a foil cover, so it's hard for me to show you guys.
Yeah, wow. Okay.
This looks like a mirror. I can just see your screens.
Yeah. Oh, let me put the porn away.
Corn. Put the corn away.
The corn away. We have End After End. There's a new book from Vault. This cover is by Liana Kangas. I picked it up after Vault let us read it. It's really cool book. It's about a guy who dies in the first page, and then that's when the story really begins.
Oh wow!
So yeah,
that
really fun stuff. Then we have Judgment Day number 3. This is the Marvel event of the summer. It is so freaking good.
Really?
So freaking good. I am loving every issue. Even all the tie-ins are good, which is not. It's rare for Marvel to like get all this stuff right. One thing
How much
I'll recommend,
backstory do you have to have though to understand a lick of what's going on?
I do recommend you read at least the Eternal series that Gillian did. So it's about 12 issues. That's the only thing. But it does help if you watch the Eternals movie. That helps because you at least understand who they are. Okay. Also, if you don't like Damage Control, you may like this because this is called.
I almost got this. Is it good?
It's so much fun. Patton Oswalt and Jason Blum are writing this.
Yeah.
So I thought it was going to be more comedic, but it's not. It's just
really
fun. It's about this is the Mike Mignola cover because of course I had to get Mike Mignola. The main villain is called Stickman. That's why the dude looks like that. It's such an insane world. So like real quick synopsis, in this world of superheroes and supervillains, like we focus on like the C and D levels of villains. The main bad guy, Stickman, who's like one of the worst villains, he kills one of the main hero's sidekick. And then the heroes just turn it into a police state. So now all these guys are kind of caught in the middle of that while they look for Stickman since he killed the kid. Really fun stuff. I expected it to be a little funnier, but I don't think it needs to be funnier. I think Patton Oswalt and Jason Blum are just doing a fun job working on that. So yeah, I recommend it. If you see it at your shop next week still.
Okay,
pick it
cool.
up. I picked this up mainly for the cover. Olympus Rebirth, Hippolyta. It's like now that Hippolyta is dead, she's become a god in Olympus. So if you want to read more of that, but I love Tula Lotte, so that was the cover she did. Tales of the Human Target.
I almost got that too.
These are just one-shot stories that happened before the series that we're all reading. So if you want more Tom King with like really good artists, including Kevin Maguire, who Justice League International extraordinaire.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. This is the Task Force Z. I'm reading this series, but I mainly picked up because of the Bat Bunny suit.
That's awesome.
I hadn't seen this in a long time. Harley Quinn is doing these covers for the anniversary.
Yeah, I'm loving every one of these covers. They're really impressive.
This is
I mean, who drew that cover? Because that's a really good riff on Boland. I mean,
that's a good question. Let me see.
It can't be Boland, so
it looks like it though.
Derek Chu makes sense, right?
Oh, Derek Chu. Yeah, that does make sense. Okay,
that makes sense because he's the artist from The Boys, and he's the artist on Batman Fortress,
which is incredible. It's so good. Yeah, that was also on my list to talk about, but I figured you would. Yeah. So
no, it just continues to be good. The story about them trying to find Superman and then all the layers that come out of that. I really like Batman.
I do too. And the thing I like about Batman Fortress is it's doing what I kind of wish all mainstream comics would do, which is you don't need any prior knowledge going in. As long as you know who the main characters are, you're fine. They do reference some obscure kind of people coming in, but it doesn't hurt at all. It's a fun, interesting, beautifully drawn, wonderfully written story, and it's compelling, and it's this is I don't know, this is old man waving fist at cloud. This is what comics used to be like in the 80s. You just go to the store, pick it up, and you're like, oh, this is really cool. I'm just going to keep reading this story to find out what happens. It's weird it has to be now in our 21st century comic world its own mini series off to the side.
That is weird. I mean, this could have fit perfectly in a detective comic because that one's the one that kind of does whatever it wants.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
That way they get to put out an extra Batman book, so I get it.
Yeah.
Now, real quick, my unnecessary purchases. I bought the Robin and Batman hardcover collection. This is it collects the 3 issues that Jeff Lemire and Dustin Nguyen did, and then the real unnecessary purchase, Pulp, the Process Edition.
Dude, that is a necessary purchase. How is it unnecessary?
I feel like I did. I already have this book, Clay. I don't think I needed this. I even have the PDF image sent me of this. So if I just wanted it to read the contents, I could have. But no, I wanted the book. I saw it at the store and I'm like, oh, this looks great. I need it on my shelf. Now I just need a shelf to put it in, because they're all occupied. So
trip to IKEA.
That's right. Real quick, before we move on to our first, our main topic, I know we're running late. Did you guys watch She-Hulk?
Yes.
Not yet.
Josh? Okay. All right.
No, sorry.
I
will.
Watch at least the first one.
I still haven't seen Ms. Marvel. This is how far behind I am.
Well, you don't need to watch Ms. Marvel to watch She-Hulk. So
She-Hulk is real quick. I mean, it's a 30-minute sitcom.
Oh, is it really? Okay, because I posed to my family, let's watch that during dinner, and
they're like
we haven't done it yet.
They're like 25 to 30 minutes.
Okay, cool. All right. Try and do that.
If you want, I do recommend. One of my recommendations is actually going to be our buddy Legal's on the chat. A video all about She-Hulk. A whole range.
Nice. Yeah, absolutely. I want to see
fun
that.
Video though. Really, really fun video. But yeah, watch all of them. Leonard Kim says, I agree. You just need to have more dinner. Have dinner twice a day with your family, Josh, so you can watch both shows.
Yeah.
Trying to get us all to sit down at the same time and eat a meal together, that's basically dinner. So
all right. Well, I need a marker to see when the audio is going to start. So let me use this.
Really are the most devious bastard in New York City. Well,
New York City.
All right.
New York City.
You really are the most devious bastard in Dallas, Texas.
Well, and the thing is, that really doesn't spoil the episode at all.
Really
you don't see who he's talking to. So,
perfect answer. Live that Hobbit life. Second seas. Come on, you can have second seas while watching The Rings of Power.
Shout out also to Greg Castillo in the chat. Welcome,
Greg. Yeah. All right. So welcome everyone, including our audio listeners. This is where I'll introduce Ned. Today on our main topic, we'll be talking about. There's been some Warner Brothers news recently over the past few weeks that we have been off the air.
That is putting it lightly.
News
Yeah.
bonanza. So, what's going on here is that Warner Brothers and the new CEO David Zaz. I'm just gonna call him Zaz.
Zaz, yeah, let's just call him
Perfect.
Because
Zaz.
he's
He has a
just
mark for
cutting,
every show he's canceled.
Yeah.
Oh my god, he's just cutting everything. So yeah, there's been a lot of.
Such a great reference.
Um,
Oh god.
so it's funny because the origin story is gonna be that David actually went to college and business school, and then his brother just became a criminal. But they both but the purpose for both of them was just the same, to just cut something, right? And one of them chose to kill people, and one of them just likes to cancel shows. But they both marked themselves after they've
Batgirl.
yeah.
Right.
Steve
And-
Urkel Christmas.
And now they're in competition. Who can cut more?
Yeah. So unfortunately, a lot of this was the first breaking news. I think was the Batgirl movie, not being postponed, not being released on a streaming, which I think that was the original plan. Just not being released, period, at all. Like
And possibly being destroyed.
Yes,
That was
that was the
that
last
just
I heard.
yeah. I mean,
They did one screening and then just burning what they had.
yeah.
yeah, they've according to the directors of the film, they removed it from any server that they have access to because they wanted to maybe rescue or secure some of that footage.
Yeah, but when you're fired from a job, you don't necessarily have access to your old shit. So I kind of understand that mentality. That's not their property. It is owned by that company. So you really shouldn't have those things.
Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like art is different. Like this is
Well,
still all art.
This is an IP. This is
I hate
part
it.
of having IPs run your system.
It's
They belong
it's
to a
such
corporation that just wants to make money.
Yeah.
It's such a good point that you bring up, Daniel, because that's where I'm constantly conflicted, right? I can see the fact that this is very much about bottom line and finances and business. But that's sort of the point I made and why, like, I think I lost my shit when I saw the article about them destroying Batgirl. And my comment was, they're clearly not thinking about the fact that if they do this, what creators are going to work with them in the future, right? If there is the possibility that everything that they put their effort into, good or bad, may just simply end up being destroyed, right?
Right.
Who's going to work with them? I mean, the one director I can think of that kind of did something like that would be Roger Corman with the FF film, but even he didn't really know that was just for hanging on to the IP. Right.
Yeah, but Roger Corman always worked a side deal to get extra stuff. He would do
interesting. Okay.
Yeah, he would always do a film and then be like, "Well, what else can I get to make other films?"
Gotcha. Okay, so he understood the balance between the business and the art side, right?
Right.
I mean, clearly this guy Zaz is Zaslav, I guess. I don't know. Is really just uncaring. It seems like about.
I mean, what I've done is I've researched his work at Discovery and Discovery Plus, because essentially when he took that over, he said, "I don't want people to think of us as a cable channel. I want to think of us as a content channel." So that's one of those guys who's changed entertainment to content. It isn't just, I'm going to try to bring in people who want to be entertained. I'm just going to put so much shit out there, someone's going to watch it. And that's what I feel like, when you say you're a content creator, sometimes I feel like you're a shit creator, because you just create so much stuff that maybe one or two things will hit. But that's a lot of what Discovery Plus is like just dumb, bad shows. Like there's I think at least 4 Jack Osborne shows of him hunting the paranormal. Who the fuck is watching that? But he has 4 shows of hunting the paranormal, and every paranormal show is the same fucking show of, did you hear that? Let's watch the video And that's every fucking paranormal show. And I hate that because they're not interesting. They're not fun. They don't tell anything good, but someone turns them on and watches them.
Yeah, I think one of the other things is how out of touch they are. I mean, let me put up some.
Yeah.
Sorry for the audio listeners. There's some slides from their presentation, which was the worst presentation.
Oh my God! Wow. I get
where they
Winter
have
Tim's comment now.
First of all, the binary view on this is ridiculous. But
Yeah.
even looking past that, they have HBO Max as they want it to be their male skew, scripted, lean in, whatever the fuck that means, appointment viewing, home of fandoms, and then you have Discovery Plus, which skews female according to them, unscripted, lean back. Oh, okay, I guess I get it now. Comfort viewing, because I hate having anything to watch that's I hate watching everything leaning back and being comfortable and like.
No, you gotta be on the edge of your seat, leaning in, man.
We did not have a show about our comfort media a couple weeks ago, right? So, and this is the home of genre domes, whatever the fuck that means.
That where they have like true crime. They have the whole thing of true crime. They have like, the 90 Day Fiance is an entire thing of its own because they have before the 90 Day Fiance, 90 Day Fiance, Happily Ever After, The Single Life. These are all spinoffs of one show, and they only pay those people like $1,000 to $1,200 an episode. So their stars are all on Cameo making more money than they do on TV.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't have writers for these shows, so they have really low production costs. Their production costs for reality shows run between $100,000 and $500,000. So when you're coming from a network that produces shows that cheap, and then they look at Batgirl and that was $90 million. I mean, plus they also bought Warner Brothers at a deficit. Warner Brothers was $55 billion in the hole. So they have to get out of that hole, but all these decisions are also driving the stock price down.
Yep.
So
now I want to go over this other slide, which also was like baffling. I don't know if the intern who put this together was just following a sheet that somebody handed them. But they have the brands breakdown. So they have HBO, Discovery, CNN, HGTV, Cartoon Network, DC, and Looney Tunes. That kind of makes sense. That one's probably not the worst offender. But then we go to franchises.
This is bizarre. Yeah.
We have, of course, Batman, Wonder Woman, and Superman, the Trinity from DC. That one
why only those three? Like,
yeah, right. Yeah, those are the only superheroes that sell comics.
Okay.
Then they have Discovery Shark Week, which I guess that is that's
a franchise? It's a week, a year.
It's an event that happens once a week, yeah. They have Game of Thrones. This next one really baffled me. But
I feel like we need Clay here to explain this to us.
Okay. Clay, so I'll skip that one. So we have the Wizarding World of Harry Potter.
Okay.
But one of their top franchises that they talk about is Clay, you coming back in? Yeah. One of their main franchises that they talk about is the 90 Day Fiance universe, which is
what the hell is that?
Okay, so because I do watch this, it is trash TV at the worst. It is sad people who can't meet anyone around them, so they find people online in other countries, and they either move to America or they have a 90-day show called 90 Day Fiance the other way, where people move to another country to live there. And it's always sad because you see these very sad people who can't find love, who've met someone online that may or may not be catfishing them.
Oh my God.
Yeah, because you'll have episodes where this guy has been talking to a girl the whole episode, but they never interview the girl because they can't get a hold of her. And you discover he's been paying a chat service to talk to this girl. And it just gets sadder. And then you're like, and then he goes, then he went to like the Ukraine to try to meet her. and she didn't show up. And then he's like, well, I'm going to track down her house because I bought her airline tickets before and I had it sent to this address and I still have the address. So he's in another country trying to track this woman down. It's just a lot of sad people.
Yeah.
It is really what it is, because they're, I'd say maybe 5% of the people that have been on the show stay married and are happy. And everyone else is just a train wreck. So it's really, you're just watching a train wreck happen on TV. And it's and I watch it and goof on it and riff on it on Twitter because it's ridiculous to see how these people live. It's and a lot of them just they'll have kids, and that's the saddest part. The saddest part of all this is the people who bring their kids onto these TV shows, and you're just like, don't put your kid on TV. Your kid does not need to be like your accessory or whatever.
Yeah.
But then they've had spinoffs from 90 Day Fiance where they have these two twins called Darcy and Stacy that now have their own show where they try to, one of them has married and one of them is still looking for love. And they're just sad people who have been on TV so much you can't recognize what they look like now because they've had so much plastic surgery since the first episode.
Oh.
So it's really the bottom of the barrel. And a lot of the times the people that they put on these shows are criminals. TLC has a huge history of people. 90 Day Fiance had a guy named Jeffrey who is in jail now for spousal abuse. The Duggars, I mean, you guys have heard of
yeah.
Their son is now in jail for molesting like his brothers and sisters. There's so many different shows that have because they really don't do any background checks on these people, and it almost seems like, oh well, the more notorious the more the ratings, and so they don't mind having people who are. They had a show about a gun dealer that was only on for a season because they found out he had he had hit $1 million from the IRS. Also didn't have a license to sell guns. Seems like a basic check you would do.
Oh my God.
And overall reality shows are just fucking terrible for the human psyche. One story I read said there's been 38 cases of suicide of people who've been on reality shows. Like, reality show is like the next level of social media, is like you become famous, but you're still poor, but people recognize you and you have to still put on this persona. And sometimes that just wears you down. And I even saw a story where there was a girl who was 11 years old who had committed suicide, who had been on a reality show. And it's like, don't put kids on TV, don't put kids on reality shows especially, and really have a psychological evaluation for some of these people before they even appear on TV. But that's not what this guy's about. This guy's about cheap entertainment.
Yeah.
And in some of the shows, he'll hire people to do production work, but the production work is so long that they thought their pay was going to be like X amount of dollars. And they said they broke it down and it turned out to be like $7 an hour to like follow people in Naked and Afraid out in the wilderness, where some people are getting, sick, and you're in the Amazon, you're in like dangerous areas, but it's just a cameraman, a producer, a sound guy, and that's your whole crew. So that's your cost. They don't see like a writer as a cost when you have people who are just trying to hunt and fish and live. And so I think, that's the way he looks at production is it can be cheaper. The most expensive reality shows I discovered were Survivor and American Idol, where like a finale would cost you $1 million an episode. But then when you look at like HBO, you'll have Game of Thrones, where you'll have an episode that costs $20 million. And like The Pacific, another HBO show, that costs $20 million. Like those seem outrageous to him, but you're paying for huge production quality. You're paying for stars that you want to see. On TLC and Discovery, you don't know who these people are, but now they're slowly getting people who you kind of know. Like I mentioned, Jack Osborne. Kesha has a paranormal show this season that, who gives a shit? You know, they're all the same. But like I was looking at like Netflix, their highest costing show is Stranger Things, and that's $30 million an episode. And by the way, the Defenders, when they had Marvel, all those stars in it cost $8 million an episode.
Yeah.
You know, Amazon Lord of the Rings is the highest, most expensive show currently, and it's $58 million per episode. So, I mean, I don't even know when you have Amazon and you don't sell, like they don't sell physical media of that show. You only get it if you buy Amazon Prime. It seems weird that they don't even sell that. How do you account for the money that show makes to say I can spend $58 million on a TV series per episode? You know, yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, good.
Mandalorian, $20 million an episode, but to me, probably one of the best things that I've seen on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
You know, TLC used to be like a legitimate channel with real shows.
The Learning Channel.
Yeah. When this guy took over, this is when it became the shit show that it is now. You know, it's just, I mean, there's so much true crime on there. It's ridiculous, but it's just cranked out because it's content. It's not considered entertainment.
Right.
So the thing that concerns me about this guy is it's one thing if he came aboard and like what you just laid out, Clay, right? This is sort of his MO, right? And so we can expect in the future less and less and less scripted, high cost, prestige shows. And instead we're just going to get more and more of this, you know, kind of reality crap. But he's going beyond that. He's removing content off of HBO Max to save money. Yeah. He's completely canceling, or again, in the case of Batgirl, destroying content. I mean, it's like, it's so pernicious. And the other thing that kind of got me concerned is when news reports started coming about how he now has this 10-year plan for DC properties, right? As everyone knows, I'm not a huge fan of the DCEU at all. But I will say the guy that, I forget his name, who basically is leaving, is basically leaving, but he's staying on through October for the release of, is it Shazam or no? Black Adam. I agree with this, had kind of begun to turn things around because he realized we don't need an MCU style connected universe. We need these unique one-off films like Joker, Shazam, stuff that are independently unique and not tied to this bigger Snyderverse, right? Trying to play catch up. And they were doing well. I mean, all those movies that come out recently were good. They were fun. They were unique. Joker is still, I've got qualms about it, but it's still an absolutely unique take on an iconic character.
Yeah, but okay, Todd Phillips was offered, from what I've read, Todd Phillips was offered a gig to be like the Kevin Feige type, and I'm like,
I know, and that makes no sense.
He made
no sense at all. Because what it's clear this guy now wants is he's not looking at the recent past of DC. He's like, well, we need to do what Marvel does. Let's do our own extended combined universe. So he's basically re-stepping into the bear trap that DC stepped into. It's going to fail. I'm sorry. It's just going to fail. They were getting success by not copying Marvel.
Well, and that brings me, the last thing I wanted to touch on this slide, and then we can move on to the actual stuff. This iconic series and characters.
I know.
We have Friends, a show that ended in 2004.
Yeah.
We have Fixer Upper, Welcome Home. Sure.
Who's the iconic character in that?
Yeah, the house, I guess. It's the house from Poltergeist. We have The Big Bang Theory, a show that ended years ago, and that more and more people begin to dislike because of the way that it was talking about fandom and nerds. We have the Property Brothers, iconic characters, the both of them, when you can tell them apart.
Right. One's got a beard, one doesn't.
The only one that belongs here, Drivers, diamonds, and dives. Yeah, baby, Guy Fieri.
Well, okay, but that's an iconic series. Is Guy Fieri the iconic character?
Yeah, oh,
Like
for
who?
sure.
I
Okay.
think so. Yeah.
And that series for this one's probably other than the home renovation ones. That one's
Yeah.
definitely at least still going on. And then Sex and the City, which I don't think that the sequel series did very well. I don't know. I didn't watch it.
I
but-
haven't. Yeah.
They didn't do well, and they got rid of one character. Now that they're trying to bring that character back. But also, if you, I know people have gone back, or film analysis people that I watch on YouTube have gone back to rewatch Sex and the City, and they go, it doesn't stand up well. Like, it's very much a sign of the times and isn't very progressive at all. So I don't know how people would continue to watch it.
I mean, and you could say the same about Friends. Honestly, I mean, I
yeah.
know it's having a revival among like Gen Z, but it does not hold up well.
To me, Friends is one of those comfort shows that people watched at a certain time period, and they want to go back to that, and watching that show kind of brings that back.
Mine is Frasier.
Oh yeah. So let's go over some of the shows that were announced and there are no more. In this nice article that Kyle gave us from TV Line. Oh, Kyle. God. Clay gave us from TV Line. So Merry Little Batman, which was supposed to be the Little Batman in Christmas show, which
It's Damien Saves Christmas.
Yeah, that would have been cool. I would.
Yeah. I want a new Looney Tunes movie.
I think so too. I think if it's good, not like Space Jam 2.
There's
Fuck Space Jam 2.
Yeah, look, I'm sorry, those two words do not exist in my head.
Space Jam
both.
2. Oh, okay.
Space Jam, yeah.
Well, hold on.
Hi, Bye Bunny.
The first one's not.
I've never seen it.
But it's you shouldn't. It does not age well.
I get bummed out about the fact that Space Jam gets highly remembered and Back in Action does not, when it is a better Looney Tunes movie. It is just fundamentally better in every way, and it bugs me. So, anyway.
The Steve Urkel one.
Where did that come from?
Yeah, I hadn't even heard of that one.
It was claymation, is that right, or is that just one sequence?
I thought it was animation.
Animation.
I think it's supposed to be animation, yeah.
And it's a musical. I mean, come on.
Then we have The Amazing World of Gumball the movie.
Yes, give me a Gumball movie. Come on, I love Gumball.
You're not gonna get it.
See, my understanding too is that he also cut all these existing shows. Like Summer Camp Island is one of our favorite shows here in the house because it's just a very peaceful, fun show, and it's because of residuals. Like if they hit so many viewers, they have to pay out extra. But if they don't run the shows at all, they don't have to pay out anything. So even Julia Potts, who's the creator of Summer Camp Island, has said, like, she doesn't know what she's going to do with her final season because HBO Max is not going to air it. So what are they going to do with all this content that they own? Are they going to sell it, auction it off? It just seems dumb to own that. How many tax write-offs can you get from all these shows?
Right.
Especially like Julia Potts owns Summer Camp Island. So it's like, really, they're the distributor. They can't really destroy it, but can she resell it somewhere else?
Right.
I've heard rumors that Cartoon Network, because they were essentially selling a lot of it to HBO Max, are going to be getting some of these shows back. And I'm hopeful because Summer Camp Island hasn't been on DVD, but Shelby was able to find a copy in Australia that has the first 3 seasons on it. So
nice.
We have a question in the chat. Does anyone remember the Looney Tunes movie with Brendan Fraser that was a ripoff of James Bond?
That was Back in Action.
Yeah, that was
Back in Action. That was the one I was just railing about. People should remember that because I like that movie. That movie is not a terrible movie.
All right, there you have it from Josh. I don't think I've seen that, so I'll let you guys. I'll believe you. Back to some stuff. So we talked about Batgirl. I think that was probably the biggest cancellation. Now, when this was announced, I was also afraid because like we have other stuff like Blue Beetle and other projects that
Green Lantern Corps.
that I wanted to see. We don't. I think the Green Lantern movie show, whatever it was gonna be, it's gone too, right?
Well, and there are knock-on effects from the Batgirl cancellation. I was just reading about. Take this with a grain of salt, but I'm hearing they're now refilming Batman cameos and like the Flash and other things to remove Michael Keaton and put in Ben Affleck.
Yeah, that's why they pushed back Aquaman, because Ben Affleck, it was going to be Michael Keaton's Batman showing up. Now it's going to be Ben Affleck's Batman again, which I'm glad for Ben, but I really wanted to see Michael Keaton.
I wanted to see Michael Keaton as Batman again. I mean,
I wanted to see,
that was such a coup when they got that. I mean,
I wanted to see Brendan Fraser in this Firefly.
Yeah.
Role. Yes.
I know.
Then
the scenes of the stunt work of them they're driving through Gotham, just shooting flames out, and it just looks so badass.
There was a series for Strange Adventures, which I believe this was going to be an anthology show. Yeah. Kevin Smith talked about he had a story in there that now it's not going to happen. The Wonder Twins, I think that had been canceled before Batgirl.
I think so as well. Yeah, that had been canceled before he came on board. God, now, don't cancel Doom Patrol.
These are some of the things that we haven't gotten any confirmation, but obviously it's still DC projects that are on the HBO Max platform.
More Brendan
Doom
Fraser,
Patrol,
Robot Man.
Yeah, Doom Patrol probably the best series.
Yep.
Maybe that DC's ever put out. Harley Quinn, also close to the best series that DC's ever put out,
and wildly popular. How is this? Is this more of the HBO Max is for men thing? Like, because Doom Patrol, Harley Quinn, those are things that have a very diverse audience. It's not just men, right? I mean,
I don't see a lot of men who go, I love Danny the Street. He's awesome.
Wow. Put me on that list. I do love Danny the Street.
I do love Danny the Street too, but it's just like that whole character and art show just diversity at its zaniest and funnest.
Yeah.
Then we have also Titans for anybody that was still watching that.
If they keep Titans and cancel Doom Patrol and Harley Quinn, we know what he's thinking, right? Yeah. It is that PowerPoint slide.
Then also, I don't know, the Flash series I think that's just ending. I think the Flash series over. I mean, CW also sold like their big majority stake to another company, so these are just CW series that were canceled. We don't know what. We don't know what
show up on set. That's what Ezra Miller looks like.
Yeah, I was gonna say that is a very perfect Ezra Miller photo.
Now we have this whole thing with Warner Brothers that they have 2 movies that are gonna release, but they're not getting very good traction on stuff, right? I think. For the rest of the year, they push back everything else. They only have Black Adam, and then the other Warner Brothers movie is Don't Worry, Darling, which now is also under a lot of news because
is it really why
Olivia Wilde and I think she I don't know, Shia LaBeouf left the film, and then she was saying that she fired him for Florence Pugh. There's a lot. I've not heard
any of this. I just saw the trailer and I was like, "Ooh, a new Olivia Wilde movie. I want to see that."
All I know is that, that's all I need to. But Florence Pugh's not doing any press for the movie other than with the premiere at Venice. So yeah, it's a whole shit show over even in the movie division because apparently they don't have enough money to release more than 2 movies the rest of the year, which seems insane.
Now the other thing I'm really bummed about is this Batman animated revival, the Caped Crusader.
Yeah.
I've heard reports they may shop that around to other places, but I was so hyped for that show. And not just because of Bruce Timm. I love early Batman, right? Give me gloves, give me no sidekick, give me he probably has a gun under his cape. I like that Batman.
I do want to pitch one idea that really scares the fuck out of me completely, is that in all this, what if they decide to sell off DC Comics and its properties? Because if they're obviously not going to make these movies, I mean, I know he says we have a 10-year plan, but he probably says that for the stockholders to believe in it. But if he sold that off, I would think Disney would be someone involved in that purchase, and that scares the fuck out of me because I don't want one universe, one book, or one company owning the majority of the big comics.
Right.
Like, I can't imagine Disney integrating Marvel and DC like that. But if someone else bought it, a Boom, IDW, or something, I would love to see it go somewhere else and not be treated like it is here at Discovery.
Yeah. For the other comic publishers, we don't know. Like those are also kind of getting bought out or having deals with these big companies as well, right? So who knows what the future is going to like, even if it was, let's say, even if DC broke out on its own again, because I think that can happen as well. But yeah, it's weird, and it's definitely not ideal for just the creative part of it.
Well, and that's also going back to the slide that you showed. What kind of worries me is I think to hold on to those IPs, they probably wouldn't sell the comics division. But what if they scale back on the comics, right, as a cost-saving measure? And on top of that, and this again is what really worries me about that slide, when they had the franchises or whatever, I forget which one, it was Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman. I'm going to guess we're going to get all brand new Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman movies in the near future, because I'm already hearing reports that Pattinson's Batman is out, which is a shame because that is such a good movie. It deserves a series going forward. Well, but he seems like the kind of guy that wants to come and be like, nope, it's a whole new world. I'm making all these sweeping changes. We're going to get a new Batman, Superman, blah, blah, blah. So
I thought we had reports that they were working on the Batman 2, and that was moving forward. The Matt Reeves still.
I've seen both. I've seen both. They're working on it and that it's done. So
yeah, I can't imagine
those are just rumors.
For at least a 3-picture deal.
Yeah, that would make sense. So
we have a comment from Leonard Kim, which kind of we'll use as our segue to the next part. So personally, I like that he's got a 10-year plan for DC. Sure, it didn't work out before, but I prefer a strategy over nothing. The bigger problem is all the cancellation and his approach. Part of that 10-year plan is bringing in Dan Lin, who's a movie producer. He's worked on a lot of stuff, including the Lego movies, Godzilla vs. Kong. He's got a pretty incredible resume of successful movies. So maybe this is a person that can actually put some kind of plan together and build a universe. Whether that means, going forward, we're going to get everything's connected, or just like we were talking, which I think DC works best is just its own little stories of everyone else, right?
Right.
You don't need to put everything together. I know Marvel's got a method to their madness, and it's worked out for them. Obviously, DC needs to do something different because they can't just copy the other way.
You can't recreate the Marvel method, right? And weirdly, that extends both to the comics when they hit their stride with FF1 and this new MCU. Just you can't recreate that. It's always a product of its time and the creators of its time.
And people expect it now because people are so like, oh, how come we don't have a main focus on in this phase? Because they want a Thanos, they want an Infinity Gauntlet, and it's like maybe just. Sometimes there are superheroes who fight villains, and that's the story.
I mean, there is something really great about, and again, I know I always shit on the Snyder stuff. I'm sorry, Daniel, but there is something really great about the Batman being just a very localized, grounded portrayal of the Batman. He's doing it again. For our audio listeners, every time I smack on Snyder, Daniel just very slowly brings his steel case across the screen. So
you should come listen to the YouTube show. Come watch it live.
Yeah. I see having a 10-year plan is fine, but I feel like they were succeeding when they didn't have a plan set in stone,
Yeah.
right? When it was, here is a unique take, a unique creator bringing something to the table. And the other thing, like, no shade to Lynn if they've brought him in to oversee this, but think of all the reports we got just in the past few weeks of them scrambling to find someone. It was going to be Todd Phillips, it was going to be Berlanti, it was going to be it's like, we got to get someone to be, we need our Kevin Feige. Maybe they don't, right? Maybe they don't. It just, I don't know.
I'm just flabbergasted by Batgirl and Scooby-Doo being completed films that they're just going to trash, because it seems like if you could make any profit, those would be the kind of films, a kid film, a genre film that already appeals to a ton of people. And then and if it's a part of another universe, it's like you have this jigsaw puzzle and you're like, I don't like this piece, and you throw it out.
Yeah.
When you could tack on an extra scene at the end to tie it in or make it its own thing. And to say you have a 10-year plan, everyone's going to say that. No one gets hired for a job and say, I don't know what I'm going to do, I'll figure it out. They're going to say, oh, I've got a plan for a whole decade. And he's probably got a Post-it note that says Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman. That's
exactly.
it.
And then he handed that to the intern that made the PowerPoint. So
this is a numbers guy who's looking for tax credits to dig them out of the Warner Brothers hole. And that's it. He's not a creative type at all.
Yep. I got a 3-step plan to save Warner Brothers. I'll give you the first one, but you got to hire me to get step 2 and 3. Otherwise, you'll just steal my idea.
The first one's free.
Step 3 is profit.
That's right.
Yeah. I'm like Leonard Kim said, I'm 10-year plan or not, I'm mostly disturbed by the action so far, right? Just not releasing, possibly destroying Batgirl, Scooby-Doo, removing content from HBO Max. I mean, again, streaming services live and die by their back catalog, right? You may be able to get them in 1 month with a hot new release that's, an exclusive, but to keep them around, you have to have a robust back catalog. And they are completely gutting that. So what are people going to stick around for? I mean,
I think that those staples, like they put up Friends, will just stay there because they're never going to do any more. They're never going to add to that content. That's just something that needs to stay there. And again, I thought that was an NBC Peacock only thing. And I guess NBC sold it to them and is probably making a shit ton of money off of that.
I wonder if that happened when they set up the reunion, if that transfer occurred as part of that deal.
Okay, that comment, Sesame Street is Sesame Street is important. Sesame Street, but it is available on YouTube still. So if you've got kids, you can still catch that and check it out on YouTube.
I mean, I was horrified when the whole HBO deal went down originally anyway, and that was years ago. That was way before this guy. But yeah, I totally agree with you, Hudsonizer. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. But removing, was it 250 episodes of Sesame Street? And I saw like a parent on Twitter was like, my child is still young enough but old enough that they have specific episodes they want to rewatch. And I remember those days of like, I don't get to see any new Curious George because my daughter just wants to watch these same episodes over and over again. You remove that episode and you are really like, you're making it difficult for kids to enjoy entertainment and for parents sometimes to just have 20 minutes to go off and like do work or use the bathroom or something, So
But then I've also heard like the current programming for kids, like a Coco Melon show. Those shows aren't just designed to entertain kids. Those shows are designed to keep them focused in the show. They are using things that they've learned from studies to help just draw kids in constantly, which seems so fucked up. Like, I mean, I understand as a Gen Xer, we grew up with toys as our, entertainment. He-Man and everything that was on TV was also a toy. But to start fucking with a kid's mind like that, to have them be obsessed with a show is really fucking weird.
Yeah, if you take away Sesame Street, all our kids are gonna grow up with either English or Australian accents from Peppa Pig and that Bluey show.
Yeah, bring back Teletubbies. So at least there's no actual words involved. But no, I mean, Sesame Street is a critically important show, right? And it was a show geared to educate all. It didn't. And that's what, even back with the HBO merger, concerned me. Are they going to be locking this behind a paywall? I'm glad to hear it's still on YouTube. And is that like official? Is it like PBS's YouTube channel? Or
I'll look it up and check.
All right.
It's on the Survival Street channel.
Yeah, exactly.
Survival Street.
Boy, don't mix those up and give that to your kid. Give him nightmares.
Cool. Is there any closing thoughts on any of this stuff? I mean, there's going to be obviously more news that come out, but yeah, I think the main thing was our disappointment with the way it's been handled. First of all, because there's a lot of actual people behind these projects.
Yeah,
this isn't just like content; it's their livelihoods, and those are all being affected. We saw very really how it was affecting the creators. They've been very vocal on social media, people that worked on the projects, the actors, and then just the fans, the other thing, right? So it really doesn't look good for the future of Warner Brothers and Discovery, like whatever's going on. So
for me, it's HBO. I mean, this is the network that gave us The Sopranos, The Wire. I mean, incredible entertainment that is now like going to be considered too expensive. Like,
yeah, exactly.
We're gonna log on to HBO Max now, and it's going to be like all the 90 Day Fiance shit up top, and then it's like, oh, if you want to see The Wire, it's down here over old TV shit. But there is a YouTube channel, and it's got like there are episodes that have 46 million views, 26 million views. So there's a lot of Sesame Street still online on the Sesame Street channel.
All right, that's good. I mean, and going back to your point, just a moment ago, Clay, there's a reason we call it prestige TV, right? Because it's not just often well written, it's well made. Anytime you start aiming for those sorts of things, the budget's going to go up.
Yeah.
So, and the other thing I read about this guy, this is my last thought, I guess, is
ever
what? Yeah. No, Zaslav, whoever, is that he's adamant about theatrical releases. And it doesn't seem to be the experience, it's the double dipping, right? He wants to be able to charge people to see it in the theater and then get them again when it comes to streaming.
Yeah.
How is that not? How are investors not looking at this mentality, thinking, isn't theater going still entirely effed up right now after COVID? I mean,
yeah, we had two bankruptcies the past 2 weeks of major theaters declaring bankruptcy.
I very carefully choose what I'm going to go see in a theater, right? And I will wait until the time that I know the theater is less crowded. I mean, we can't take me personally as an example of every
I don't
theater
go to the theater at all. I can't. So it's again, like that's not an option for me. I will pirate the fuck out of your movies. Like HBO, I'm going to pirate the fuck out of all your movies because Amazon, I don't want to give you any more money. I'm going to pirate the fuck out of your movies. Like if I want to see some of that shit, that's how I'm going to do it. But going to the theater isn't an option for a lot of people. We have monkeypox coming now. I mean, what the fuck? Like, to say we're going to, start going back to theaters is appealing to a bunch of old people who just don't go to theaters and just own stock in the company. That's a ridiculous plan. He needs to go, this is our plan. And if we continue to have the numbers we've had with theatrical releases, then we're going to stagger it and do it this way. We're going to start doing more physical releases. We're going to, there's so many options.
Yeah, Clay woke up and chose violence today. But you know what?
Every day I choose violence.
But they chose violence first. All right.
They're burning Batgirl. Fuck them.
Yeah.
I definitely hope somebody brings a phone to that screening
Oh,
I guarantee they are taking everyone's phones away. I mean, unless they've got a Google Glass or something, there's no way we're ever seeing this. So
It'll leak.
I have
It'll
my
leak
hat with a
somewhere. I
GoPro
believe
on it.
I believe it. We got our best minds working on a leak for Batgirl. All right, so that's our show for today. Of course, let us know on Twitter or in the comments or on however you want to give us feedback, how you feel about all these cancellations. Let's move on to recommendations real quick. Josh, we'll start with you.
Yeah, mine's pretty quick, but I'm very excited because this upcoming Wednesday, the hardcover collected volume of Batman 89 comes out. And I love this book so much. I am going to get it. I am going to go watch Batman and Batman Returns and then read it and just finally have the trilogy we were always meant to have. So go check it out. Batman 89 comes out on Wednesday.
Clay, what about you?
Jodie Hauser. I mean, I obviously from all the stuff I've read, and just praising her writing, I can't believe that I've been missing out on this. And now that you've said the Doctor Who stuff too, I'm going to have to go through the Doctor Who stuff and see if I have anything from Humble Bundles I have from her. But she's just a home run. Like, she gets playing in other people's sandboxes so well. I would love to see her do a Stranger Things spinoff that Netflix picked up. I'd love to see her write a Star Wars movie.
She did a really, really good adaptation of the first Thrawn book into comics.
Really?
Wow.
That was her?
Uh-huh.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, check that out. So I haven't read the Thrawn book, but I've read the first series because of that.
Well, she's becoming one of those people that I see her writing, I will buy it.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I will recommend, first I'll recommend the comic that I haven't read that comes out next week. Thunderbolts #1. This is going to be written by Jim Zub. It's got a weird team, though. It's Hawkeye, Spectrum, America Chavez, Power Man, Persuasion, and Guts and Glory. Here's a
Who are those last two?
Yeah, I don't know. I think I don't know
and that's
who the little guy is.
Captain Marvel in the middle, right?
Yeah, but she's Photon
Yeah,
now?
Spectrum. Yeah,
Oh, Photon.
Spectrum.
Oh, Spectrum. Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm interested. I don't know who. Maybe Guts and Glory are these guys. I don't know. I haven't been keeping up, so I don't know where this follows. I think this follows after Devil's Reign, which is it left a lot of threads hanging. So we'll see about that. But all right. Well, first we want to give a shout out to our patrons. Thank you guys for still supporting the channel. We have Sabrina, Mike, the I Read Comics podcast, and Final Neil. We also want to thank everyone on the chat: Leonard Kim, Hudsonizer, Legault. Go check out Legault's channel. I'll put a link on the description of this video. Really cool video on She-Hulk, and Rings of Power too. If you know nothing about the Cimmerian, like this guy, Legault breaks down everything from it's
Really? Okay.
It's a really
Awesome.
good video to watch leading up to the show, so you understand things a little better. Because I'm very bad at knowing names and of places and people and events. Also, big shout out to Gregory and Spartan 117 on Twitch. So yeah. Other than that, do you guys have anything else before we get out of here? No?
Nope.
Okay, well, I just want to say, if you follow me on Twitter, you've seen that I've been guesting on a few episodes of I Read Comics podcast. Go check that out. On the last one, we talked about the Bat Children. Really, really fun episode to record, and hopefully you guys enjoy that. So, yeah, really excited to be working with those guys as well. And stay tuned. We'll have more videos. There's not a lot of comics this week. It's like the 5th week of August, so it's like annual week. So it'll be very light. So we'll have whatever reviews we can get. So expect that. But yeah, we also have, and I'll send this over to you guys. We've received our preview copy of Vanish, which is the upcoming Donny Cates, Ryan Stegman book. So I'll share that with the team so we can all talk about that when it comes out. And yeah, here's the Cimmerian names, places, and more names, the book, or really all of Tolkien's work. Thanks, Legault. So yeah, I think that's going to do it. I'm going to take us out with the intro because I want to hear the Korn song again.
Perfect.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I hope everyone
It is
had a
very
good.
good.
Stay tuned. We'll be taking a break for Labor Day for the live, but then we'll come back and probably, and I'm pretty sure we'll do Thor: Love and Thunder, since Disney Plus Day is September 8th, so it'll be out on Disney Plus for everyone to watch and rewatch. So I'm definitely gonna get in one more rewatch before our show. So if you have any thoughts on that, make sure to tweet us at Next Issue Pod, or leave a comment somewhere. We'll find it. We don't get that many comments, so I'll find it in the videos. And we should finish Sandman. I still need to finish Sandman. I need to.
I need to watch the rest of it.
Yeah, I've only watched the first episode, and
and then they dropped that special episode, which I think is animated or something.
Yeah,
really, really fun stuff.
And I heard from Adrian. Adrian goes, "Once you see episode 6, call me." So,
dude, I'm almost there. I'm at 5, and I'm like, I like 5 because it I don't know, it's not a final place, but it's a good place to kind of take a break. So I took a break there, but I think I'm gonna pick up in the next few days, since we'll have a little bit of a break in between episodes.
Is 5 the death episode?
I think 6 is the death episode, because I haven't
6 is the death episode. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I was just curious.
All right. Well, thanks everyone. Bye bye.
Yeah. Take care.
corn.
I really like cone.
What do you like about corn?
It's cone! A big corn that knobs. It has the juice. I can't imagine a more beautiful thing. It's cone! I can tell you all about it. I mean, look at this thing. Gonna try